I'm Mel.
And I'm Mark.
And this is the Cerebral Sports Podcast. On the Cerebral Sports Podcast, we champion the mental development, wellness, and health of athletes, big, small, professional, and amateur.
Week to week, we'll have compelling conversations with athletes, coaches, parents, and mental health professionals to discuss their experiences and point of views as we work to bring awareness to the most vital muscle in an athlete's body, the mind.
All right, we're back here with another exciting episode on Cerebral Sports. Today we have a very special guest to the segment, Michael Richardson, number 6 from LIU Post, former standout all-star. This man here was named the Don Haley All Super Region First Team. He was also the NE10 honorable mention for the year. He finished his career third in all-time catches with 2,294 yards receiving. He led the Pioneers with 57 receptions, 778 receiving yards, and 10 receiving touchdowns. He was a force to reckon with on the field. He also, in 2017, was named the NE10 second team. He started in all 10 games and broke the school's record with most receptions in 14 games. He is now a current wide receiver coach here at Nassau Community College. I look at this young man as someone that will continue to grow on the field as a coach through the experiences that he's had on the field as a player. I'm very excited to welcome Mike Richardson to the show, and I'm excited to hear a little bit about his journey. Hopefully we can share some things that you guys as the listeners can tap into and really get a better picture of what it takes to be great as a player and also as a coach. Mike Richardson, welcome to the show.
Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, honestly. It really is.
Give it up for Mike, man. That is a very impressive resume, man. So I actually caught you in action a few times going back. I was a Post alum myself and taking in some games, and you was a dog out there, man. And you did a lot in a short period of time at Post. And I think it's a beautiful thing when great players move on to coach, to share their experience, their learnings, their expertise with the next generation, man. That's the ultimate way to give back and to pay it forward. So, man, salute to you, salute to your career, salute to the second phase of your football career, man. I wish you the best, obviously.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do.
Indeed.
So, Mike, man, on this show, the Cerebral Sports Podcast, man, we champion, the mental half of sport. We definitely understand the physical half of sport and how important it is to have that and the knowledge of the game that you decide to play. But we also know there's a lot that goes into like just the thought processes of playing the game that you play. Looking at your resume from the LIU, right? It has 2 years on there. I know you, from everything that you went on and off the field. I know you also had a stint at Nassau, right? And is there anything, before we really dive into it, is there anything that I left out with your introduction that you want to kind of talk a little bit about, where you started at Post, your transition to where you were at Nassau, and maybe your transition back to Post, and just give a little bit of a understanding of why and how that happened?
Yeah, so in 2013, that was my first season at LIU. I was a redshirt that year. And then I ended up the following season, there was a receiver who got hurt. So going into that spring, it was kind of, my job, at the time, because, people were out, and so be it, but, me being who I was, I didn't look at it other than, I have the starting spot right now and it's my job to lose. And from that day, I never lost it, so, and you did miss something, that season I did end up getting offensive rookie of the year. But, so after that season, I ended up going to, Coach Gill, who, you guys are familiar with. And, we had a conversation because, my goal was always to, play Division I. So, we had a conversation, and, we both felt, it was in my best interest to, try and veer to that. So that's why I ended up going to Nassau. And pretty much, at Nassau, it was like a totally different environment, just totally different. The structure wasn't as well as it is now, with, having you and everything. But, I kind of lost a lot of the things that I got taught, at LIU when I was first there. So a lot of my discipline and things of that nature, didn't carry over. And I ended up, failing out of Nassau. After I had a good season at Nassau as well, I ended up earning some Division One AA scholarships, and I couldn't do anything with them because I didn't take care of what I needed to in the classroom. So that kind of set me back, and I had to take 2 years off from football, which that was a real bad time in my life. If I'm being honest with you guys, that was a real bad time for me. I wasn't doing what I love, so I kind of just started, partying and, just got away from, my true self and a lot of things that that I was true to when I, first started playing football. And, so that took me a lot of like reflection to, get out of that. And I had to, I had to come back, start training again. I basically had to just do everything over, that I initially started with. And, I had a great friend who I also coached with who helped me do that. His name is Sean Banks. He trained me before I ended up coming back to LIU. And that was probably my best season, because that was the season I broke the record. And so that was my junior season. And then, I ended up graduating there my senior season. But, it was a long road for me. Honestly, it was a long, long road for me. But I got through it, and I'm glad that I did. I really am.
Wow, man, that is. I mean, I didn't know that story. So I'm sure the listeners, when they see and hear this, they're gonna be as flabbergasted as I am from hearing that story. That is a story,
Yeah.
right? And what really kind of hits me is you talking about the place that you were in without football, and that that intersection of athletics, right, physically, and then athletics mentally. So, like, what was your mindset on a daily basis? Over those 2 years without having ball and knowing, as a football player, we know this. We know football never ends for us. It's all season training, it's spring ball, it's camp, it's year round. So, people may not see us on the field. So you had none of that stuff to look forward to, none of that camaraderie, none of that connection with your teammates, your coaches, and things like that. So how did that impact your psyche, your mood, like how you felt on a daily basis?
I like I said, honestly, I was in a bad place. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was honestly depressed in those 2 years. Like I can truly say that.
Mhm.
And it was kind of just it was tough for me because I really thought football was done for me. Like that's how I felt at the time. I thought football was done. But I still kind of kept in touch with a lot of people, that I played with, coaches, things of that nature, and like a lot of them kept, saying to me like, "Oh, are you still gonna play?" And I would hear that even, when I was out or things like that, like, "Are you done with football?" And like, a part of me felt like I was, like I really did, but I had some conversations with people, and they, just told me, "Hey, just get your grades up." You know what I'm saying? Get your grades up and see what happens. So that's what like. Once I heard that, that's what I kind of just started to focus on. I was like, let me take care of what I got to take care of, because I knew, like, I knew I could take care of the football part. That was the easy part for me. You know what I'm saying? So like I knew if I just took care of my school part, then the car's gonna lay where they lay. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just bought into the academics part finally. Because that wasn't something I've always done in my career. So I kind of bought into the academic part, and it worked out for me. So that's why now as a coach, I try to stay on top of them with their schoolwork, because I know what it's like to, take care of the football part, but then these coaches, first thing they ask is, how's his grades? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
And
sure. Yeah, no. So you talk about something that it's always been confusing to me as a player. I fancy myself as an intelligent person, a smart person. School has always been a priority growing up with my parents and things like that. I come from a Jamaican household. It was always school, 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 school. If I brought home a 94, it was where's the other 6 points, them type of vibes. So athletics was always secondary. So I can't really relate to, players, friends, people whose households were athletics first, because that wasn't mine. But in knowing how school is, especially college, depending on your major, obviously, I feel like if you show up and do a little something, you can get over the hump to still play and be in school. So I noticed all happened for you after the change at Nassau. Do you think it would have been possible, or a scenario where maybe you would have suffered the same fate at Post?
I do.
No? Can you
I
speak to
don't.
that a little bit?
Yeah, and the reason I say I wouldn't is because of Coach Gill, that you guys are both familiar with, and I say that because when I was first there, my redshirt year and my redshirt freshman year, I was struggling in this history class, right? And like I really needed to pass the final. Like that was like the biggest thing for me. Like I needed to pass that final, or I wasn't gonna be eligible coming that next season. And Coach Gill had me come down every single day for like 2 weeks and just study. And that's something I never did. Like I never thought about academics the way I thought about football. Like when I wanted to get better at football, I would go and watch film on the DB, or whatever, the coverages and everything. And that's how I get the knowledge. And I never implemented that into academics. And so Coach Gill made me come in and like study it the way I would study these DBs, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And it's crazy because I ended up like I memorized everything on the test. I got like a 98. Like it was crazy. Like but after that day, I was like, it made me realize how much I'm capable of if I really just trust myself and apply myself.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask that very question, so I'm happy, Marlon, you got to it. The other thing I wanted to know is the decision that was made after your first year to transfer out to go to a junior college because you felt that you wanted to be at that next level, that higher level of play. Like a lot of nowadays, everything goes into the transfer portal, right? The kids just go into the transfer portal and they wait. And I know you said you had a conversation, but what was the reason aside from it? Was it something that you saw within competition that you just wasn't satisfied as a competitor? Did you think that after you got to the Division II level, maybe that was you can definitely do better, and that's what you attempted to do? What was that conversation like in depth, and what was the reasoning behind you moving from a scholarship Division II program going down to a non-scholarship junior college program?
So I would say, I just always held myself to a high standard. Like I always felt like I was I always felt like I was better than where I was. You know what I'm saying? And not to knock anybody that played D2 or anything. I just always felt that I was a great playmaker that could make plays anywhere I was at. So that's really what it came down to. And it was a goal of mine too. So I always wanted to play Division I, and I understand now that, sometimes things don't always go the way you plan them out, but that's kind of what went into that, especially, after that season, I did so well getting offensive rookie of the year, so I really just felt like I could take what I've learned here at LIU and I could, take it to that next level, if I really just applied myself.
Gotcha. And that conversation that you had at the time, the coaches were, because again, this is before the transfer portal.
Yes.
So for those that are now in college, you actually had to have like a in-person conversation.
Yeah.
Release paperwork, right? So what was that like? Was that a stressful moment for you? Were you nervous? Were you like, all right, whatever? Like, talk a little bit about that. Just even though I know the people that are listening, they don't even understand the level of face-to-face conversation. But can you
if I'm being honest,
let's level set it for the people that's listening a little bit. So basically, what Mike had to go do is it would be like you going to your employer, your boss, to say, hey, like you're in a contract to work for a company, some people are contracted workers. Like, hey, I want to be let out of my contract or my agreement so I can go work elsewhere. I want to go to a bigger and better company. Please let me out. So, and you no longer have my services, and I'm a great worker at your company. And it's like, please let me out face to face. So that takes some balls. But please tell that story, Mike.
Yeah. So if I'm being honest, being a 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid at the time, like I was extremely nervous. Like I can't even lie to you, I was extremely nervous. But it helped a lot that the coaches weren't like, fighting back at me, because I feel like at the time, I feel like the coaches respected, the work I put in, I never complained. I was always trying to do the right thing. So I feel like the coaches had a respect for, my goals and, what I wanted to do with my career. And I think having good relationships with the coaches helped that conversation, go smoothly. So like if it was a situation where it was a kid, not doing what he needed to do and, things of that nature, I think, that conversation could have went a little differently. But I think since I had such a good, rapport with the coaches and the head coach, that, everything went on good terms. And that's a big reason why I was able to come back to that school as well.
So that's a great point. And that's a testament to the relationship building. And, people listening to this, student athletes and things like that, you can't always just look at your coaches as, your superiors or just, people who tell you what to do. You got to build that relationship. That's important. The more you build that relationship, the more, they're human beings as well. The more they'll have your best interest at heart, the more respect they'll have for you, and the more openness you'll have. And I'm guessing that relationship that you have with the coaching staff, even though you were nervous, helped you to be able to like, all right, I'm just going to go and have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that relationship is important. Now, what was it that stopped you from going or being a D1 football player straight out of high school?
I think it had to do with my speed. If I'm being,
Okay.
honest about it, like I think it had a lot to do with my speed. Because like I said, I always made plays. You know what I'm saying? Like that was something I always did. So I think me not being able to, separate the way, Division I players do, that kind of, pushed me back behind the 8 ball kind of. And I feel like, nowadays, if I was to be playing high school, it would have been different. When I was in high school, Long Island wasn't getting recruited as much by, Division I programs and now they have all this Twitter. You can reach out to coaches yourself.
Huddle.
Yeah, like, so many more resources now, so like I think that played a lot into it as well.
Okay.
But, I would like, it wasn't that I was mad at it or anything like that. I accepted it. It was what it was. But, after that season, I just felt like I still could do more.
Now, it's a great topic because, we've had other guests on this show, like shout out to Coach T and John that we had on the show before. They often tell me about kids that are just absolutely delusional about their talent level and their abilities. Every kid wants to go to D1. Nobody says, all right, I want, when you start playing Pop Warner or high school, JV, junior high, whatever have you, you don't say, yeah, I want to go to a D2 school, unless it's like a legacy school that your family, kind of like, went to. Everybody wants to go D1, be on big TV and get that huge, that big school experience. Mm-hmm. So for like a kid, a student athlete listening to this, what would you say to them about like their expectations and if they don't get what they want?
I really tell them, go where you're like wanted. That like that's what I realized. Like LIU they were the school that wanted me. You know what I'm saying? Like they wanted me for who I was, for like whether I could run a 4.3, whatever. They wanted me. They offered me a full scholarship. You know what I'm saying? And so like now, being at the age I am now, like reflecting on it, like I wish I would have had like this
mindset.
This mindset, realization of, like stay where you wanted. You know what I'm saying? Those people are gonna do everything to, they're gonna try and get you the ball as much as they can. They're gonna try and do everything because they wanted you. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these kids get so caught up on, oh, I want to go here, I want to go there. You know what I'm saying? But like, do they want you to come there? Like, do they, you know what I'm saying? Like, are they considering you? Like, are you on the back burner? Are you somebody they're going to come after, after they offer somebody and he don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I would just tell kids, you know, go where like a coach is really like you could tell that he really wants you to be at his school. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
that was a school that they really wanted me to be and be there. And that's why, you know, I was able to go back there because they always wanted me to be there. And I really feel like, you know, I believe in God and everything. I believe everything happens for a reason. And I believe that's why, you know, I didn't end up going to those Division I schools. You know, I ended up going back to LIU and having an undefeated regular season. You know what I'm saying? Like I met people that I'm gonna have friendships with for the rest of my life and things like that. So like I wouldn't take it back for anything. Anything.
Yo, that's bro. You just snuck a preach just now, man, and that's gonna connect with some kid. Some kid gonna hear this, and it's gonna connect with them, and it's gonna help them to make the best decision possible for their career and their athletics and their future. And shout out on that undefeated season, man. That I was so proud. That was so man. I enjoyed that so much from a distance, man. Like that was amazing, man. Like, and yeah, I'm glad that you were able to go back, get that experience, and be a part of history in the school, man. Like that really wanted you to go where you wanted, people. Go where you wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely, you know, and from the outside, like Marlon said, as an alum, we were very excited about watching that and seeing that happen. But I also want to just go into something you mentioned earlier, as far as being able to get out of that funk that you were in when you fell on short terms, right? On short times at Nassau, and that support system that you had, right? You had a friend that you had said Sean had worked with you, right? Worked with you, sport, trained you to get you back in shape. You did other things with your academics. And I think that's also something that needs to be highlighted to these youth, to the young people, that if you do make a decision and maybe it doesn't work all the way out, how you respond to it is one thing, but also having a support system to show that they give a crap. And even when you're doing bad, they can still continue to give you that positive support. So can you kind of elaborate a little bit on that time? And I don't want you to go too deep into the dark, you know, as far as like the depression part, unless you want to. But I really want to talk more or less about how important it is to have that support system and that insulated friendship with people to kind of help pull you through.
Yeah. So I don't think, you know, I would have got out of that if it wasn't for, you know, the people I had around me. You know what I'm saying? Like staying in contact with people like Coach Gill, you know, Sean. Like my advice to people would be, you know, stay around people who lift you up. You know what I'm saying? Like that really helped me, being around people who, you know, kept telling me how good I was. Like, you know, just reiterating these things like, oh Mike, you could still play, you could still do this, you could still, you know, just me hearing that, it really took me to another place. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in a bad place, but like constantly hearing people asking me if I'm still gonna be playing, like, and all these things, like it really did something to me where like these people had more confidence in me than I had in myself. You know, and now that's what really hit me. Like I'm like listening to people like talk about me in these ways, and I'm thinking to myself like, wow, like it's crazy how these people feel more confident in me than I feel about myself. So like being around positive people helped me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like it really helped me pick myself up. Being around, you know, Sean pushing me. You know, I'll give y'all a great story. First time me and Sean worked out, right? We go through the workout and we go. I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? Like I took 2 years off. I was bullshitting. I really was. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was bullshitting during those 2 years. You know, just going to the gym, the bench and stuff like that. Wasn't running, doing nothing. You know, so when I finally got back into it, you know, first workout with him, we get through the workout. I'm dead already. We go upstairs to run. I go around that upstairs track one time. I'm like, yo, I can't. I start throwing up. I'm like, I can't do this, yo. He like, all right, give me some up downs. So I start doing up downs. After the 13th up down, I go and throw up again. I couldn't. I was done. Tapping out, man. Tapping out. I couldn't do nothing. You know, so like, but that day even helped me a lot too. Like, you know, like Sean had a conversation with me. You know, he's like, listen, man, you know, you never had to experience something like this. You know, you've always been the man, you know, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that really sat with me because, you know, I never wanted to feel embarrassed, like feel embarrassed like that again. I had to take some pride in myself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what that would be my advice to a lot of young kids. Like have some pride in what you do. You know what I'm saying? Have some pride in yourself and the name that's on the back of your jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot more, it's a lot bigger than you. You know, like it really is. It's a lot bigger than you. Like when you fail, people relate that to everybody that that you're close with. You know what I'm saying? So like that really stuck with me. So yeah, I don't even know. That was a that was a tough time, but it helped me, going through those failures and that embarrassment, all that stuff helped me. It really did. Like it helped me see, things for what they were. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you this too, because I believe Sean was working with me at that time. He was here with me at Nassau, and he always talk about him training you. And I remember very, very clearly that workout that you had, and him coming back like, yo, this kid's out of shape, but he got to put in the work. He can put in the work. He's going to be good. I'm gonna work with him. I'm gonna get him. Right. So I think if you have fallen short times like you did, having someone like that in your corner is very important. And I think you're saying, and I know you're saying it, but I also want to make sure that I'm clear on it for those people that are listening. If you are falling on hard times and you are struggling, you do want to play a sport that you truly love, find someone that's going to be honest with you, but also be very supportive and push you in the right direction. Because that's what you had. You had a solid person to really talk to you as a person, tell you exactly what it was, show you exactly how to go through it, and then make sure that they kept you on target to hit what you were trying to get. So, I respect it. I'm obviously I was excited to see you go through the progression, and then to see the end result, which was you on the football field doing what you love to do and finishing your academics, which is very important.
Yeah, that's fire, man. That's an amazing story. Something that I think about when you talk about that break, you talk about the support system and having good people around you that care. What was it like to be, like, I'm assuming that you went back home to West Bath? Is that where you, right? Yes. Were you like hiding from people? Did you not want to see people? Because I'm home, I'm not supposed to be home. I don't want to answer questions about this. What was that? Because that's a big part of it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm assuming that you was the big man on campus in high school. You was that boy, and now it's like, yo, what you doing here? Like, you supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? Because people find out, some people find out naturally. They see you at Walgreens on a day where it's like, hey, Post playing today? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what was that experience like?
Oh man, if I'm being honest again, that was awful for me. It really was. Like you're right. I tried to avoid people. Like I was embarrassed to go around people. That thought so highly of me, and now I'm out. Partying, doing all this like stuff I ain't need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a rough time for me. I started drinking more than I usually had. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a real rough time for me because. I was just kind of like trying to, like I was trying to like erase what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like trying to not even think about it. So like I started drinking more, trying not to think about it. But it just got to a point where it was just too much for me. It got to a point where I just couldn't avoid people no more. I just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it just got too tough for me. Like that weight was too heavy for me. I just said, that's it. I'm a change. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's amazing. Not everybody gets to have that epiphany and that turning point. I'm thinking of some kids right now, man, that I knew from high school that were absolute ballers. Thinking of a kid that played with my little brother, and he took a similar route, but he wasn't able to pick himself back up. And that, that talent just kind of got wasted. And, it hurts to see because not everybody's blessed with the same level of talent or natural abilities, and can make something good of themselves in athletics or on the field. So when you get that gift, man, you got to harness it. You got to nurture it. You got to care about it, take care of it, represent it like to the best of your ability. So I'm so glad that you were able to pivot and make that move and get back. And you have a story that can inspire any kid, because you saw both sides of it, from going from being the man to absolutely being on the outside looking in, drinking, not being able to play, coming back and having to fight your way back, right? what what did the coaches say to you at post when you had to re-engage with them and try to come back? Like, what was that experience like? You go up there, did you call? Did you go to the office? Kind of like shoulder slump? Like, what was that like?
So I had kept in contact with Coach Gill, and he kind of made me feel comfortable about asking Coach Collins about it. So I ended up reaching out to Coach Collins, and he was excited. Honestly, like he was excited. He really was, and like that like helped my mood even more. You know what I'm saying? Like he was excited to have me back. So like after he was like, oh hey Mike, like I'd love to catch up and talk and everything. So once he kind of gave me that vibe, like I felt like so much like relief out of me, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I was nervous to, reconnect with, them because I left, so abruptly and everything like that. So it was great to, see that he was so excited, to have me back coming there and everything like that. So that was real good, honestly.
That's dope, man. And that's dope. One of the things I kind of think about is these schools that you apply to, these D1 schools, these D1 AA schools that I kind of reach back out to you. Do you ever think about, or what do you think the outcomes would have been if you were able to, say your grades were on up and up and you were able to go to those schools? You feel like you would have got the same love, opportunity, things like that?
I don't think I would have became the man I am right now.
Wow.
I truly believe that I wouldn't have became the man I am right now. Like the people I'm around right now, like Coach Ramsey, Coach Gill, Sean, my boy Malik, it's the names go on, but like I would have never, I never would have had like built these friendships and experiences that I went through if everything didn't go the way it did. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll tell y'all some more about my story. So during those 2 years off, I got a DWI. I saw my pops, he was on drugs and stuff. Like my brother was going through some stuff with CTE. He passed away. So it was real rough for me. It really was. It got real rough. You know what I'm saying? But like to reiterate what I'm saying to y'all, like to everyone, is being around positive people and all that stuff that went into it, like a lot of that wouldn't have happened. Like I wouldn't have, those experiences got me to where I am right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it helped me so much. So like I would tell, people that's listening and everything, like even though you might be struggling or anything, it's gonna turn you into something. Like it's gonna turn you into something, and it's up to you to make that choice of what that something is. You know what I'm saying? Like that struggle gonna turn you into something. Whether it might be good, bad, but that choice, you gotta make that choice on what you want it to be, though.
Yeah, man. And I'll tell you this, man, Mike and Marlon. I know you're learning like a lot about Mike, but
I like this kid. I like Mike, man.
Since he's been working with me, it's his third year here, and that's what I want to pivot to. This is his third season here at Nassau, and I've been able to watch this young man continuously evolve, right? Continuously evolve, and change. And the way he connects with the young players, it's not even close. You can't coach that. You know what I'm saying? That's just a natural thing based off his experiences. And we almost, he almost moved on and went on to regular work. Right? The spring was a little sketchy, man. He wasn't.
Hey, yeah, see that. Hey, that shouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now I'm back.
And now my man came back in summer, son. And one thing that I think, I don't know if I told you, Mike, but one thing that the other coaches said is like we need that energy, right? We need that positive energy to be around, that yelling, that screaming, that just the kids kind of migrate to. And I think a lot of that energy comes from all those things that you dealt with. This man, Marlon, for the listeners, he does how many push-ups you do a day now?
Right now, I'm at 3,000.
Yeah,
how many what?
Push-ups, 3,000.
Nah, come on. Hold on. Come on, because I used to do, so I had a thing where I used to do 200 every morning before work, and I'm telling you, that would have me flex, feeling good. Come on, Mike, what are we talking about, man? How's that possible, bro?
So all right, so I'll give you the story on that. So last season in October, my boy Sean, he presented us this Squattober thing, right? So we go through the whole Squattober. October ends, and I'm like, damn, like I like that consistency I had of doing something every day, right? And so I started thinking, I used to when I was in high school, I used to watch this documentary on Herschel Walker, and he used to do 5,000 push-ups a day.
I saw that documentary.
Yeah, so it got me thinking. I'm like, damn, maybe I should I'm gonna do push-ups every day. You know, so I started out with 500 every day, and then I go up 250. So 500 in November, then I went to 750 in December. Then I go up to 1,000 in January, and then and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try and break the push-up record. And the push-up record is in a year. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try and break the push-up record. So right now I'm like training myself to break that push-up record.
So like, is this the Guinness World Book?
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what's the record?
How many? My bad. Go ahead.
No, you good, man.
The record is 1.5 million.
In a year.
Yes.
And so how do you go about it? You got to document your push-ups. You got to show video.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to document it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so when you gonna start that?
I'm gonna start it in January, because right now I'm at 3,000, and I'm gonna go up 500 every month, and I'm gonna have to do 5,500 to get, because I want to do 2 million. So if I want to do that, I got to do 5,500 every
day.
A year. Yeah, for a year.
Man, what's your elbows feel like, bro?
Yeah. So it's funny. So for the first 2 months, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was sore every single day. And then, like, I don't know, it just went away, that soreness that I was feeling. I swear, yeah, that's why now, like, I'm so like, that's why I'm so locked in. Like, I know that our bodies are so like capable of so much more than we think, in our minds. Like, because I didn't think that soreness was gonna go away, and I didn't know if I was gonna be able to push past it either. But I got past it, so, and now.
How many push-ups a clip? Like, in a clip, what can you do? Like.
So I don't really do like my max push-ups, you know what I'm saying? Because that'll like tire me out too much.
Got you.
So like I do a 30 clip and I do a 20 clip. So that's a quick 50 right there.
Right.
So I try and do it like that. So, but like right now, I wake up at 4 a.m. Mm-hmm. I do 1,000 before I even leave the house. And then, I go to the field, and then I come into the weight room, get another 1,000 in.
How long did it take you to do 1,000 push-ups? Like an hour?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe less if I'm really feeling myself.
I'm upset, man. I thought I was yo Mel, man. I'm telling you, and I had said to myself, I said, all right, I need to get back to doing my 200 push-ups every morning before work, because it was helpful on top of my regular workout. But I wasn't doing nothing.
Stop. You was doing something still.
Bro, you know me, and I told you how I ain't lifting no heavy weights no more. I don't care. I'm chilling. I'm out there on the practice field doing push-ups with them. I'm like, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Got them. It's addicting. But I brought up, man, like the conversation that I was starting really and truly was like, just so that people understand, when you're playing and when you're going through struggles and then you transition into the coaching world, those same things come up, right? So you still now see it, but you see it from a different light, and how you can now reach back and communicate these things to the younger people. The question I have for you, Mike, is like, outside of the X's and O's and the hard work and the guys, talent levels, what's one message that you try to share with your players every year that you hope resonates with them by the end of the season?
That I'm pretty sure you said this, but basically that life is longer than football. You know what I'm saying? So like, I want them to be good in life. You know what I'm saying? Because if they're good people and everything gonna work out for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, everybody wants to go to the NFL and all these things, same as me. You know what I'm saying? I wanted the same thing. And then I had to go through life, and I wasn't prepared for it. You know what I'm saying? Because all I was worried about was the NFL. That's it. I wasn't worried. I wasn't thinking about, bills and all these other things that I was gonna have to, deal with in life. You know what I'm saying? Like dealing with death, all these type of things. You know what I'm saying? So I really just try and, basically try and get them, like, I try and talk to them about like discipline because of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have good discipline in your life, it's gonna help you out. For, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna help you with anything you do. Anything. If you have discipline with anything you do, laundry, homework, whether it's sports, whatever, if you have good discipline, it's going to take you to another level.
Right.
Sure. Man, the things that you went through, man, like they say pressure bust pipes and make diamonds, man. And the shit that you went through, excuse me, the stuff that you went through really got you shining, man. And like I could see the level of growth. And I didn't even know you from the level that you started at. But it's literally emanating from the screen, the growth that you have achieved, the mental strength and fortitude that you have achieved, man. And it's amazing and it's great that these kids get to connect with someone like you, because I'm telling you right now, man, like you can't change all kids. You can't change all student athletes, but you should change some. And when you change some, then that some, they go change another lot, another group, and it just grows. It just goes like that. So the influence that you're gonna have on these kids, man, like this really a calling. It really is, because the influence, the impact you're gonna have on these kids is something that they need. And your experience is so unique that the impact of it is just so much greater than something that maybe that I could do. You know what I mean? Because I didn't go through what you went through. I didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody struggle a little different. What you went through is so impactful that it's gonna really 180 some people's lives, man. And that's amazing. And the fact that you're relatable, because you're closer in age. It's something else I kind of want to touch on. Is that as we evolve down the path of student athletes, coaches, it's changed. Like in 1960, 50, they had Paul Bear Bryant coaching Alabama. He beat up on kids, and they had to take it. They didn't get to get water. They had to take it. People got sick and died because they was running gases and weren't allowed to drink water. Times have changed. Kids have more options. They have more power. They have more leverage. They have more ability to do what they want. So having a coach like yourself that the kids can relate to will help them buy in more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, and to go off of that, getting text messages from kids that I coached like the first 2 seasons, like, man, that really did something to me. It truly did. Like seeing the way they felt about me, how I coached them, and like at that time, I didn't really feel like I was getting to them. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know if I was really affecting them the way I was trying to. So getting those like messages from players that I coach and everything like that, it really changed me as a coach, because it let me know that like how I'm acting, how I'm being with them, they feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I want to be able to connect with a kid, who might be struggling or anything like that, because like you said, like I went through this, you know what I'm saying? So any way I can help them, I'm gonna try and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm gonna try and help them. And that's why I really truly believe that I'm in the perfect spot that I'm in right now. You know what I'm saying? Back at Nassau, where I failed out, where I made all these mistakes, and now I'm here to help kids not, make the same mistakes I made.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, man. So let me ask you this. And I think you touched on it a few times, but I want to hear, before we let you go, we're about to sum it up and wrap it up. I'm going to do I want to ask one question, and I'm going to let Maul and, ask if he has another thing. And then I want to do a quick game with you. But as far as most influential coach or most influential person, all right. And I want to hear, when you think about this answer, I want you to give me the answer, and not just, X's and O's. I want to hear about, putting you through things mentally that will help you shape the person that you're in today, right? I want you to think about that person and give the listeners an example of who they were, why they were, and what you got out of it for that person being around you. The most influential person that you've had in your life so far.
So I'm gonna kind of cheat, but I'm gonna give you 2. The first one would be, my brother who passed away. Seeing the way my brother used to, I'll give you a little. My brother was a 2-time, state champion, 3-time county champion. He went to Hofstra, was an All-American there. Seeing the way he used to put in work, I used to see my brother in the boiler room on the bike, like with the trash bag on. You know what I'm saying? Then, after that, then he going outside running sprints, you know what I'm saying? And like I watch somebody put in work and get success. You know what I'm saying? So like like I had a perfect world, you know what I'm saying? I got to watch somebody like while I'm growing up watching a man like literally do what coaches try and teach you. You know what I'm saying? If you put in work, good things gonna happen. And I got to watch that, growing up my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So like I would say the first person would definitely be my brother. And then the second person, he's gonna get mad that I'm saying his first name, but Jonathan Gill. I mean,
He's gonna get mad.
he's gonna get mad at me. But like, man, I'll tell y'all the first time I ever worked out with Coach Gill, we do these like gases and doing plate pushes like and together, like we doing gases with plate pushes, you know what I'm saying? And this is my first ever. I used to think I was working hard. That's what it was. I used to think, and I know a lot of kids probably think they working hard now. I used to think I was working hard. I got to my first college workout. I'm not even lying to y'all. I was throwing up nothing. I couldn't even throw up no more. I was on the ground, dry heaving. Oh my God, it was terrible. That was another embarrassing moment for me. But like I said, you need those, man. I'm telling you, y'all need those. And he taught me about like having mental toughness, and that's something that I never nobody ever brought to me. Nobody ever talked to me about trying to be tough mentally. You know what I'm saying? It was always, everybody was like, oh, well, are you tough? And it was always thinking physically. You know what I'm saying? Are you a tough person? Like, can you fight all that? But like being able to be mentally tough, that'll change your life. And it really has changed my life. Like just him always staying on top of us about little details, like, if we breaking out 11 instead of 12 yards, like that little stuff like that matters. You know what I'm saying? Like it truly does. Like all those little things matters. And he taught me a lot of these things, like the little things, being on time, and accountability, man. Like anytime we messed up, he holding us accountable. And if he was to mess up, he holding himself accountable, and he doing double of what he had us doing. You know what I'm saying? So to watch somebody, and that was the biggest thing for me, because I always have respect for my coaches, never disrespect any coach ever. But sometimes when a coach would say stuff to me, I would think to myself, like, do you do what you're trying to tell me to do? Like, are you putting in work? Are you staying disciplined? Like, does your wife have to tell you to do the laundry? You know what I'm saying? Like I used to think like this. I really did. You know what I'm saying? And like to meet Coach Gill and to see him really like be so consistent, like show up 5 a.m. every day and do the things he was doing, like, man, like it was crazy. Like it was crazy. I'm like, this man is really like, this is what a leader look like. You know what I'm saying? This is what people should like be trying to strive for, like what this man is doing. Like, and I'm not like, I know he gonna be talking all his mess, whatever, but man, I'm gonna gas him up as much as I can. I really am. Like he deserve it, man. Like he really changed so many kids' lives. Like it's not even funny, man. Like, and like we used to get teased, like, oh, we got the Coach Gill group, blah blah. But you know who used to be making all them plays out there? The Coach Gill group. You know what I'm saying? Like kids used to love to talk all that talk, but at the end of the day, those kids that was doing what he showed us to do, we was out there balling, man. So definitely that's right there, man.
That Coach Gill group thing. Let me tell you something. That started from day one with us. We were the first Coach Gill group, and people teased us the same way. And some of those people that teased us ended up becoming a part of the Coach Gill group. They just wanted to be down. That's literally it, man.
Yo. And it's hard to be down with that crew because it's tough, man. You know what I'm saying? It's tough.
Yeah, man. So let me ask you, I got a little quick game, man. I'm gonna give you a list of words, right? And off these words, whatever's the first thing that comes to your mind, I want you to just throw it out there. It could relate to anything, right? Ready? You ready for confidence?
All right. So confidence, I would say that's like one of the most important things to have on that field. Because if you could be confident out there, you're going to think it's nothing you can't do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's like a big thing I'm trying to get into my players now. Like, if they could be confident, they ain't going to be worried about what them DBs is doing out there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big word right there. That's a big word.
All right, next word is focus.
Oh my, focus. That's right. That's right with confidence. You know what I'm saying? If your focus level is at an all-time high, again, the same thing with the confidence. Like you're gonna be so locked in that it's gonna be hard for you to mess up.
All right, refocus.
Oh, refocus. So hey, that's something I had to do. I lost focus for a while, and that refocus, it's tough. I ain't gonna lie to you. Refocus is tough, but if you could be able to do that, it's gonna take you to another level.
All right, here we go. When you play, right? Adrenaline. How does that work for you?
Oh, adrenaline. Ah. That one's tough. Adrenaline. Ah,
It works for you, it could work against you, right? So
yes, yeah.
you say adrenaline and you talk about your players and adrenaline. How do you talk to them about controlling that?
Okay. Um. So with adrenaline, I would try and tell them, I tell them to try and talk to themselves.
Mhm.
Like at all times, try and like talk to yourself. So with that adrenaline, you might feel it, but you got to be able to talk to yourself through it, so that you use it in the right space. You know what I'm saying? Because like you're saying, like adrenaline could take you down a bad path too. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So like being able to talk to yourself while you're dealing with adrenaline gonna help you out a lot.
All right, last one, growth mindset.
Growth mindset. So I'd say you're gonna have to be open minded for that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're a closed minded person who always think it's your way or the highway, you know what I'm saying, you ain't gonna be able to grow at all.
Love
Well
it.
said. Well said, man. Yo, it's been honestly like every time we do this, I feel like it's my favorite damn episode. Like seriously, this has been like super eye opening. I'm glad that I didn't know any of the stuff that you shared today. I'm glad because this is really a treat for me, man. Like I really enjoyed this, and you're an inspiration. You're an inspiration to people listening, to your players. People that know you, close friends, and now me. So, man, thank you for sharing your story. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Obviously, coaching, your world record goal, which I'm sure you're gonna get. Like I don't think it's nothing you can't do. You have reached that level of mentality where things in your way are just it's just a matter of time before you get them out of your way. So what I want you to do is I want you to plug, if you have it, your social media. People need to be able to follow your journey, man, as it continues,
Oh, for
especially
sure. For sure.
with the new quest that you out to come to accomplish.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll definitely do that for you. And I really appreciate, everything you said. And, it was a pleasure having me on here. Honestly, I'm glad I got to share, my story and everything.
We need you to say your social media handle though, so just give it to the listeners. What's your Instagram handle?
Oh, my Instagram is Michael_Richardson 6.
And then your TikTok, 'cause I know you're famous on TikTok.
Oh,
Uh,
is he?
nah, he capping, he capping. Oh, I think my TikTok is Showtime 2043.
Showtime 2043. This man be but yeah, man, just to piggyback off Maul, man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Obviously, it's a pleasure to continue to work with you every day. We have a lot more to get done and a lot more to accomplish. And I'm just excited to sit back. And as I am doing this year, I'm sitting back and I'm watching the show. It's not me. Last year, for those that are listening, me and Mike, we worked real close with the receivers. This
Yeah.
year, man, he matured, he understands it. I'm having a great camp just because these guys that are working and doing it all the right way. Um, as again, like we said on this show, we champion the mental half of sport, the mental half of life. There's ups, downs, right? It's ebb and flows, but that's part of life. How you respond to the challenges 99.9% of the time will either put you in a great place or a place where you have to kind of come back out of. But either way, this story that you've just been listening to should show you guys that with all things possible and with a great support system, that great things will happen for sure.
Yeah,
So
man. Indeed. This story gonna be on Showtime one day or HBO. This man will have a documentary. I really feel like that. His story just it's too compelling, man. Like salute to you, Mike.
I really appreciate it, honestly.
We're gonna put that push-up championship challenge world record. We're gonna have that live on this podcast so that the listeners can see it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what you're gonna do with your shirt on or shirt off? I'm sure there's some people that want to know.
Hey, I got you with the shirt off, baby. Come on now.
All right.